não sou corredora, o que eu sou?
Minha melhor amiga. A gente entra lá, ele conserta seu jogo e tudo volta a ser como era antes.
Mas onde vamos encontrar?
Na internet!
Quê? Ralph, não é demais!
Não é não!
Get my geek on, get my geek on.
Um truquezinho pra se livrar da gordura da barriga?
Clique aqui e não fique mais solteiro. Sério? Quer ficar rico jogando videogame?
TV Capricho no ar. Gente, hoje eu tô aqui com eles, os responsáveis por dar vida a um filme incrível que é WiFi Ralph, Quebrando a Internet. Eu tô aqui com o Phil Johnston, o Rich Moore, que são os diretores, e o Renato dos Anjos, que é o chefe de animação e o brasileiro da Disney. So, hi guys, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So we meet Vanellope and Ralph again in this movie. Now they are on an adventure through the internet. Where did this idea come from? Were you already thinking about a sequel when you did the first movie?
No, when we did the first movie, we were just trying to get it done. You know, we just were trying to get it finished. We weren't thinking of a sequel. All of us worked on it. Renato was the head of animation on the first one too. And about a year after, we said, why don't we do, another one? But we didn't want to start until we had a good story and a good idea, because we very quickly came up with the idea of, well, what if they go to the internet? What if we get them out of the little arcade world and send them to this big world? We said that would be pretty great. And what if when they go to the internet, we send them on this quest, but they start to have a problem with their friendship? That Vanellope starts to fall in love with the internet, and Ralph just wants to go home. And that was really the beginnings of this new movie.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I trying to explain the internet for some people. Sometimes it's hard. I know because my mom doesn't really understand it.
Yeah.
So I'm totally taking her to see this movie because you make it seem so easy. What were the challenges of making the internet something visual and appealing to children and people in general?
And internet is such a huge place, right? But
yes,
you should never take priority over this character's story. So it was a challenge to kind of find a balance between, showing enough of the internet so people could relate to it, but not having that be the thing that is the movie, because it should be a movie about Ralph and Vanellope and their journey. So, but figuring out the internet was kind of fun because we actually at one point, these guys were still working in story, and I had a team of 20 animators, and I assigned each one of them a website to explore and figure out what's your vision for this website.
That's so
just
cool.
like going for fun, And then we play all those, I think there was 18 or 20 websites just for them to see, okay, this is kind of interesting, you know what, when we put that in the film. And I think a lot of it was trying to experiment to see what people's vision were, and then showing to these guys to see what they liked.
Yeah, and there are so many references, kind of hidden in there. And when Vanellope goes to Oh My Disney, she also meets so many characters from this world, especially the princesses. How is it for you to modernize those princesses? Because we see them on 21st century clothes.
Right.
We see them talking about feminism, and some of them were 2D characters, and now they became 3D. How was it for you three to bring them to this movie?
As someone who's loved animation all my life, it was incredible to work with these characters because, like you say, some are from 2D that go back to the 1930s, like Snow White. It would be almost like if you could take Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, as Judy Garland playing her and somehow work with that character again. It's kind of mind-blowing that we got to work with these characters again, and in making it a funny scene, we wanted to have some fun with the tropes, and the kind of the foibles of the princesses. So we weren't just showing them as women in beautiful gowns. We wanted them to be inspired by Vanellope's clothes to make new outfits, and then talk about themselves as people. you
Yeah.
know, because I think a lot of the audience forgets that they're not just models, you know, they had stories that were difficult, and they had to overcome a lot. And I think reminding people of that is what makes them feel very contemporary and very feminist, you know, that they weren't just women waiting to be rescued. You know, they had very powerful stories.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's one of my favorite scenes of the movie. I love when Vanellope creates like the princess song.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is so good. How is it for you to create? You made it with Alan Menken, right?
Yeah.
Who's one of the responsibles for the big songs from Disney.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we kept talking when we were coming up with this idea for a song. Like it should be like an Alan Menken style song. You know, it should have the feeling and heart of an Alan Menken style song. And finally, we're like, wait, we know Alan Menken. Why don't we just call him and see if he'll write the music for this song? And lo and behold, he did. And you, I mean, the way you animated it was very in keeping with a lot of the classic Menken songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had you know, people come in and talk to us about orchestrating of the dancing that happens in the background. We have a choreographer come in and kind of help us choreograph all the dancing that's happening. And the thing where it starts and where it ends, you know, with Vanellope, it kind of tells the story of her journey, you know, and it's very sincere. We want it to be sincere, even though as chaotic as that world is with flying clowns and and sharks. It's still it's you know, it's emotional. It's a thing that Vanellope is going through that's really important, you know. So I love that about working with these guys. You know, it's always a contrast between craziness, total craziness, and really kind of important moments for someone's life. You know?
Yeah, no, it's genius. Like I loved it so much. And was it really hard to convince the creator, because we have Star Wars characters, we have the princess, we have was it really hard, or was they like, no, we're good?
It was actually when we showed our bosses that scene, the princess scene, in a very rough form. They thought it was as funny as we did, you know, and they said, no, you got to go further, you know. We want more, do more with this. So it was like everyone wanted to be kind of in on that act, you know, everyone could see the value, you know, in doing something that pokes a little fun at ourselves, you know. It's like when you make jokes with your family or your friends, you know, and that's the best satire, I think, when it comes from a place of love and respect. You know, those are the things that I think are the easiest to satirize, you know, and do it from a place that's very authentic.
And do you have any idea of how many characters from outside Ralph's world are there? No.
In that scene?
Yeah.
Oh man.
In that scene.
So many.
There might be hundreds.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think of all the extras and stuff, the little human users.
Yeah, I was trying to count them, but there are so many.
Yeah, there's lots of little Easter eggs.
Yes. And there was this joke with Merida, like, oh, I'm from another studio.
Yeah.
Is it really like a real joke between Pixar and Disney animators?
It is now.
You're waiting for a turn now.
I know that there's going to be a retaliation in some way.
Wait for it on Deadpool or something.
So, expect it when you least expect it. So we've got to keep our guard up. They're our friends. Again, it's like family.
Yeah,
you know, that's our sister studios.
Yeah, but family also make jokes with each other.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Get back at us.
Well, as you said, this movie is also about friendship. How friendship is more than just being with someone like side by side, but really supporting each other. Why do you think it's so important to pass this message to people nowadays, especially young people?
You hear a lot, especially on the internet, you hear a lot of people saying, we're BFFs, you know, we're best friends forever. And I think a lot of young people may not understand that takes a lot of work. You know, you can't just say that and it just stays that way forever. Because as the world changes, friendships change. And I think if a person thinks, well, we're going to be friends forever, when things start to slide apart, they are more apt to kind of grab on and hold on, and in a way that's desperate. You know, even though they love that person, they're trying to hold on to that thing, you know, that they don't want to let go. So hopefully this movie can kind of show that, yeah, people can drift apart, they can have different points of view, and they can want different things, but they can still be best friends. You know, they don't need to be right there connected at the hip constantly to retain that kind of relationship.
Well, thank you so much, guys. Congratulations on the movies. E, gente, não deixem de conferir o Wi-Fi Ralph já nos cinemas.
Eu adoro isso.
Não sabia que tinham tantos bebês e gatinhos por aí.
É pra isso que serve a internet, bonitão.
Um monte de gente doida. Queria isso pra minha vida. Nunca poderia falar pro Ralph.
Nenhuma lei diz que melhores amigos têm que ter os mesmos sonhos.